What's up, leaders? Scott Matthew here. So excited to be here. So much has happened. So much has been happening. In 2019, we just started March, and already just things have been rolling for Nix Your Limits, and it's a huge been part of you. It's been because of you, and so I'm just super pumped to just give you some updates. Like, early in the year, we published the book. Okay, Watch My Results is out. It's real, and I am amazed at the amazing, incredible feedback that we are hearing from those of you that are checking out the book, taking action, and seeing the results. And I've been watching. Your teachers have been watching. Your parents have been watching. Your friends have been watching. You've been watching. And so what I wanted to do, we're going to start this new series. I want to share more with you about this book. And I'm going to go down into it chapter by chapter. Why did I write that chapter? What's in it? Let's break it down and expand upon it so that you can be able to benefit from it more. Like, there's been some amazing questions that have been coming in. I've been DMing so many of you that have read the book and you had a question about this, or like you just had comments about one of the stories I tell, or just anything like that. So we're going to go into it, and chapter by chapter. This is a new series, Watch My Results series. And so let's break it down and let's see what good things come. All right. So let's go. So first up in the chapter, I'm actually holding the copy of the book so that we can go through this. So if you want, you can go through it with me. But if you're like driving or you're walking the dog, you're working out, you can go back, read your copy later. If you don't have your copy yet, nixit.today/watchmyresults. Nixit.today/watchmyresults. Get your copy of the book. You need it. You need it. It's as simple as that. All right, so chapter 1, super simple with where we start. Of course, we're going to start with mindset. Chapter 1 is the Nix Your Limit Mindset. And so the Nix Your Limits Mindset is all about just like kind of that attitude that you need to be able to encompass what we talk about with Nix Your Limits. Like, what do I mean by that? Where does that come from, and all that kind of stuff? So first off, just a couple of things to pull from here. Your mindset's one of your most powerful tools. Okay, I grew up doing sports. Like, I love sports and competing athletically and doing every sport that was out there, right? Like, growing up, I played soccer and baseball and wrestling and basketball, football. As I got into like middle school, kept doing all of that kind of stuff. High school, I played football, I played basketball, I did track, and I played soccer, and just accomplished some fun things because of that. I even went to tennis practice once. I golfed a little bit. I just loved sports, loved being active. And the thing that I noticed in any sport that I played, that yes, like there's a physical element to it, obviously, but there was a huge mental part to it. That's one thing that my basketball coach always said, is that the game is 80% mental, 20% physical. And so if you got your head right, you're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. You'll figure out a way to win. And so and we saw that to be true. Every single year of my high school career, we won our regional championship. We played in the state tournament. We went on to at least the semifinals, and had a lot of fun with that team. But it was because we were mentally strong. We had a mindset of nixing limits, of saying like, listen, we're not going to let anything come hold us back. So think about it this way. When you are wanting to improve, it all starts in your head. It doesn't matter how many tools and tricks you have in front of you if you aren't in the right mindset to use them. It's all about being resourceful, about understanding that, like, okay, so I might not have been born into a rich family, like, okay, or I might have not been born with just the physical specimen, right? Like, be like that incredibly natural born athlete. There's still ways that I can win, right? Or I might not have been born to be great at chemistry, but I can still pass chemistry. Okay, all of that kind of stuff, that you can still figure it out. You can find a way. And so we delve into that in this chapter. It talks about attitude is everything. Your attitude impacts how you approach every single day. It is not like, we look at this completely opposite of saying like, oh, I didn't wake up feeling good today. No, you never do. It is never a like biological thing that your body just some days wakes up positive and wakes up negative. Like, I get like being sick and that kind of stuff, like that's different. But in your mindset, your attitude, it's never not in your control. It is 100% in your control to wake up and be positive. To wake up and to be happy, to wake up and to be sad, to wake up and to be lazy, to wake up and to be mad and frustrated, it is 100% in your control in how you decide to approach each day. And so you've got to be aware of that and then intentional about it, because how you're going to be able to do that is going to help you. So you need the mindset of the person you want to be in the future starting today. And that's what the rest of this chapter delves into, is you have to start thinking like the type of person you want to become right now. So now I get it. You're saying like, well, Scott, like 20 years from now, I want to be like running a huge company or whatever ambition you have. Like, I want to be teaching a kindergarten class. Like, I'm not going to do that today. I'm still in school myself. Like, okay, that's fine, obviously. So I didn't say physically you need to be the person who you want to be right now. Okay, that would be physically. If I'm saying like physically you should be the person you are going to be 20 years from now, like physically do those things. Well, then that would mean going into a classroom and teaching a class, but you're not ready for that yet. But instead, mentally, with the mindset, your attitude, and your characteristics, the way that you're going to treat people. And so that's the piece that is so important for you to understand and to take action on, is that instead of saying like, well, like Scott, I'm not going to be in the classroom, right? If we go off that example, but instead, as a teacher, are you going to be someone who is always accountable to your supervisors? Or like, are you going to be the type of professional that gets stuff done? Well, be the type of student that gets stuff done. Do you want to be somebody who's motivating and influencing people and being a leader? Like, okay, well, you don't need like employees to do that, or like people that report to you to do that. You can do that right now with your friends, with your classmates, with people on your team or in your club or anything like that. You can do it today. You can do it today. And so you have to just understand that your attitude isn't given to you, you choose it. Okay. And I even give some examples where, just to emphasize how you choose your attitude. Okay. So like, say a situation, things come up and you're late for your first class. Like, and that could be a million things, right? Traffic, the bus was late, you didn't wake up on time, whatever. So a weak mindset says like, today's just not my day. I don't expect anything good to happen now. Like you sit through that class mad because you were late. And then you go into your next class mad because like, oh, I was late to my last class. And so I'm frustrated about it. Like, what does last class have to do with this class? Okay, come on, get over it, right? The strong mindset says things happen. I can still get plenty done today, especially in the rest of my classes. Okay, just redirect forward and towards action. And that's how you make that happen. Another situation. Members of your study group don't show up at the scheduled time to go over notes and study. Weak mindset says, I guess I'm not studying for that test. I think I'll go for a milkshake, right? And I know that this happens to so many people where like group projects, right? That's why we hate group projects, because people don't show up, because people aren't acting like the professional they want to become tomorrow. They're not acting like it today. And so then we always look at like interruptions in the schedules. Like we should be rewarded. Never reward yourself for something negative, right? Like you're saying like, oh, like those group, the rest of my group didn't show up. Guess I'll go get a candy, or like, I guess I have a half hour of dead time. What should I do? Right? That's such a weak mindset. And I hate to be like direct and like honest like that, but you need it. That's such a weak mindset by saying like, oh, I guess I have a half hour of dead time, of free time. No, you don't. You set that 1/2 hour aside to be intentional about that class. If your group didn't show up, that doesn't impact you being able to still study or to review things or to prep for that other assignment. I'm not saying you have to do the group project by yourself, but I am saying that you can still use that time towards the goal that it was originally set for. Meaning that if it's a group project for that class, maybe there are some pieces that are yours, and so you can do that. Or maybe you can just get a start on the group project, and then you fill in the rest of your group of like, hey, nobody else came, so I did this part, but now I need help with these 4 things. We need to split that up between you 4 because I already did my part, right? Like I already was accountable, so now I helped you out. So now let's help each other and keep going, okay? And so just think about that attitude. Like, how can you react to things better? And just consistently evaluate yourself for that. Now, understand this, okay? You might not be able to control what emotion you feel, but you are in complete control of what actions follow. I can't tell you the amount of times that I'm like super frustrated or like completely impatient with people. It happens. It happens. You get interrupted for the 50th time, and it's like all I'm trying to do is just to work with this one person, or like with this one thing on this goal, and stuff happens. And so know that it's okay to like feel frustrated. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel happy. It's okay to feel just have a negative emotion. That's okay. That's natural. But what you can control is what you do about it after. Okay, so if that means you got to take a deep breath, breathe through it, if that means you can take a walk and then come back to it, you can control your actions of what follow any emotion. You just have to decide. You got to be more intentional about it and start to recognize it through practice of saying like, okay, this is a moment where I'm feeling super frustrated. Breathe through it and then speak up. Okay, don't let what you want to say at first interfere with what you want to accomplish. What you might want to say first is probably not such a good thing. You want to insult somebody. You want to fire back at somebody. I call it mudslinging, like super negative people that feel like they have like mud on them, right? Like they feel attacked for something. So they feel like they just got mud thrown on them. And so then their reaction naturally is to just pick up mud and throw it back. And that's a natural reaction for so many people. You think about that in like gossip. When somebody gets in trouble, they try to deflect it and blame somebody else. All they're doing is just trying to spread mud over everybody. And we don't need that. We don't need that. Nobody needs that. Okay, so instead you can either, you can stop it, right? Of just like addressing it and like, let's work through it, walking away, moving away, right? Out of shot from that mudslinger. But you got to look out for those people and control your environment. That's something we get into later on in the book. So to keep going, shift your focus towards the things that motivate you. One of my favorite phrases ever is what you focus on multiplies. What you look towards, you see more of, or it becomes more clear. And it just, as you do that more and more and more, it naturally will happen. And so you got to think about that like with your attitude. Okay, what you focus on multiplies. Like if you woke up late, well, what can you focus on to bring more positive? Because waking up late gives that rushed feeling. It gives you negatives. You're frustrated because already your day started, not what you had planned. So how can you redirect it back towards the things that you do plan on or that you did plan on or the things that are going well? Okay, redirect first. And as fast as you can so that you can get back in with that positive mindset. It's all about just being mindful of the emotions that you feel, the attitudes that you have for all 24 hours of your day. Okay, so because it never makes sense if you have a 10-minute conversation that makes you really frustrated, 10 minutes, you're going to let those 10 minutes dictate your attitude for the next 24 hours. That is not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If that friend, that teacher or whatever says that thing that's a little bit frustrating, and you're going to let that 10 minutes or 1 minute, 10 seconds impact the next 24 hours, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's not going to be a habit. It's going to help you and not an attitude that's going to help you be able to thrive in your career. That's why self-awareness is so important, okay? So you can be able to say like, okay, I feel frustrated right now. Why? Take a step inside yourself and say, I feel frustrated right now. Why? What can I do about it? And then you take action. You move through it. So just consistently reflect on like what makes you feel angry and frustrated. What happens to bring those emotions on? How do you typically treat others or your responsibilities during those times? Like what do you naturally do to react? How can we interrupt that? And that's something you need to be mindful of. So now keep going, right? So someone else's choices do not have to limit the amount of success you see each day. Don't give up that power. And so, you don't have to let somebody else's negative attitude impact yours, okay? And you can be able to take advantage. So I tell a story here where in high school for me, and I was playing football, okay? I was playing football in college, and I decided like, okay, my career had come to an end. Like I wasn't going to the NFL by any means. And so I'm like, okay, like I felt like athletically I had kind of accomplished as much as I could. So now redirect, let's start focusing on my career. And so I started to shift that. And I knew that like I work hard at what I want to do because that's the type of professional I wanted to be. Just 100% all in, super effective and super accountable and reliable. So they're like, man, Scott Matthew gets stuff done. Like that's just him. He just gets stuff done. And so I went to work towards that. If I didn't have the outlet of football practice every day, well, I still had my classes and studying and that kind of thing. So I just started attacking my classes. I started to kind of come to the realization of like my career path and how I really liked psychology. At first I was like sports psychology. So I got involved with the psychology department at the college I was at. Went all in with the classes. I jumped in and the teacher noticed, right? I was sitting on the front row. The teacher got to know me and started inviting me to do more things, providing invitations to me. And so I said, hey, yeah, I'll do that. Like, yeah, I'll go and be a part of that research group. That later we got to go present research at a huge conference. That was super cool. Yeah, I'll be a part of the psychology club that I later became a part of the presidency, and I just had a lot of good opportunities there. Yes, I'll do that. I'm going to continue to work hard and say yes to opportunities that I know are going to take advantage of that. And so what I want you to consider is just moving forward towards what you feel like is going to bring you success and casting aside everything else, okay? And know that if you're going to increase your day-to-day actions with more of what you want, it means you have to give up some of the other stuff, because you only can focus on one thing at a time. You can only do one thing at a time. You can only use your time for, certain things. So if that means you're going to study more, what are you going to have to do less? That might mean less Netflix, less TikTok, less Instagram, less trips to Starbucks with your friends, whatever. Okay. But if you're going to do more of something, less of something else, because you only have 24 hours in a day. And we talk about that a lot more later on in the book. But I just want you to chase your true passion, not a job title either. And that's a big part of this Nix Your Limits mindset, is saying like, you don't have to have that label of like the job title. I remember growing up and it was so much of like, hey, Scott, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then people wouldn't like give up. They wouldn't let me be until I gave them some kind of job title. And I just never wanted to be held down on that because I didn't know. And that's okay. That's okay to not know. And even now, like if you said, what job do you want to have 30 years from now? Like, I don't have a title for it. Like, I want to be, a specific title, and that might just be me and my personality, but I just don't want you to be tied down to saying I have to be this only by the job title. Instead, I want you to focus on what type of person do you want to be and what value do you want to add to the world. And then the job will come. The job will find its way to you if you continue to focus on that thing. And so don't worry. Don't feel like you have to have 100% clarity to move forward, to get into college. You have to know exactly what you're going to major in. No, you don't. Okay. You can change. You can adjust. Yes, it might mean it takes a little bit more time, but that's okay because you're going to move in the direction that you want. Would you rather go fast in a direction that you end up saying, this is not where I want to be? Or would you rather take a little bit more time so that you're headed where you do want to end up? To me, it's easy. All right. So find your passion and purpose and chase that. Okay. And understand that true goal. So another story from my football career was in high school. I had the high school football coach show up the summer before my sophomore year in high school. And he shows up at my house during the summer. And I'm like, okay, like, hello. I go out and meet him in my driveway. And he's like, Scott, I have a proposition for you. And all up until that point, like flag football in middle school, my freshman year of high school, I was a running back, which, is the guy who scores all touchdowns, gets the flashy, he's a big tough dude. And my football coach, he says, Scott, I want you to move to the offensive line, which if you know football, like that means, you'll never carry the ball. You'll never like score a touchdown. Instead, you're just going to be that guy that goes to war, basically. Like that's what being an alignment is just going to war, just like battling it out every single time you're hitting somebody and going, just pushing it into battle all game long. And no glory for those guys either. It's gotten way better since when I was in high school, but no glory for the linemen. Like you never get your name in the paper, your picture, or anything like that. And so I had that initial, like, what the heck? And I had so many limits come into me of just like, what the heck? Does my coach not trust me? Like, is it not like, am I not good enough? Why would he say that? Why would he tell me to change positions and that kind of thing? And so I said, well, why? And I was a little defensive already at first. But he told me, he said, you know what, we're switching up the way we run our offense, and I need my best guys on the line. He's like, we can have an average running back there if we have the best to block for him. That's how we're going to win games. He said, now I totally understand if you want to stay a running back, go for it. But I know that you are motivated to play varsity football, and this is honestly, you're going to get a better chance playing lineman than you are being a running back. And I'm like, all right, like, you know, it was one of those, like, I'll do what's best for the team kind of thing. And so I made the switch. And I think it was like 2 games in. So I was the second string lineman. As a sophomore, I was the second string. There was one guy in front of me that was the senior. And I think it was the second game into the season that senior got hurt. And like, well, Matthew, get in there. And so I go in there and I finish out that first game on the varsity team. And, you know, I had prepared for the moment, right, of just like studying the crap out of the playbook. So I knew exactly what my job was, right? I told you I'm somebody who wants to be accountable and reliable. So after that game, I have all these big senior running backs and quarterback who I look up to a lot, like the other linemen. And they're like, hey, nice job, Matthew. Like, that was awesome, man. Like, let's make some good things happen. We don't know what's going to happen with Cade. And so, like, just let's go. Let's keep rolling. And they, welcomed me in. And that turned into the rest of the season starting varsity as a sophomore. And that provided some incredible opportunities for me because my total goal was to play varsity. And so did the position matter? To me, no, because I wanted to support the varsity team on the field and make good things happen. So the position didn't matter. I just wanted to be out there. And that's how we were able to make that happen. Now, if I was obsessed saying, no, I'm a running back, I'm only a running back, then I would have let that opportunity pass. And I probably wouldn't have ever seen the field that year because we had a great senior running back. There were 2 really good junior running backs, and I was just a sophomore, right? So I don't think I would have had those opportunities. And so it's just being able to know more when you're presented with an opportunity. If it's at first not what you expect, look past that just for a moment. Look past that to say, but is it still bringing me closer to my goal? Yes. Let's go. Say yes. Say yes to those opportunities. And I think that can be a valuable thing for everybody. And it's something that I've continued throughout my life. Like, okay, this wasn't initially the opportunity that I thought or that I wanted or that I prayed for or anything like that. Like, this is a different door that opened. But does it still bring me closer to my goal? Yes. All right, let's go. I'm walking through it. Okay. And so that's that mindset, that attitude that you can have, that you don't limit yourself by your doubts, by having that opportunity be something you didn't expect, by limited resources. You can figure it out. You can still figure it out. There are people out there, and that's what the rest of this book is going to go into, that there are ways between other aspects of your mindset, between the habits and the action that you can take to still make it happen. And that's the Nix Your Limits mindset. It's all about being able to cast off the limits, to nix the limits, and move forward towards action, move forward towards your passions. And that's what's going to help you get it done. That's what's going to help you get it done. So thank you for joining me in chapter 1. Again, if you don't have a copy of this book, get it. Okay, nixit.today/watch my results. That's the link. Find it, on my website, nixyourlimits.com. Go to Instagram @nixyourlimits. Jump into the link in the bio. You can find the book. Okay, we'll get it to you as soon as we can, and you can be able to get your results because that's what matters. That's what I want for you. And so thank you for joining me. Comment your favorite part of the book or the chapter. Let's focus on the chapter. Comment your favorite part of the chapter, how you're going to take action and what results that you're looking for. And we can all support one another and we can make some good things happen. So check it out. Let me know what you think. DM me on Instagram, DM me on Snapchat @NixYourLimits. We can make good things happen. So get out there, nix your limits. I'll see you next time.